everybody. Welcome to the Internet Citadel Show. Thank you so much for hanging in here with us. For those of you who are back with us this week, you're probably thinking that we just pull this off because it's the norm. It's not. We love the Internet and technical difficulties, as you can tell. Hey, listen, I just want to talk with you at the moment about my good friend and business partner, Brian Kelly. Brian is absolutely the guy that puts all of this great technical stuff together for us every week. He has got over 23 years of software experience. He was also involved in a multi-level marketing travel-based business, co-owner for 6 years. He is also a social media enthusiast. He is a people enthusiast. Again, he is my good friend and partner, Brian Kelly. Hi, Brian. Glad to have you on tonight.
Hey, Kathy, we made it once again, didn't we? And, you know, I kind of wish you wouldn't tell people I'm the technical guy behind this because all the problems we just had were all technical. No, it's all right. It's all right. We have fun on this show.
I didn't mean it like that.
I know. I understand. We like to have fun and kid each other a lot, too. What I like to do is get this thing rolling is to also introduce everyone to my wonderful friend and co-host and business partner, Kathy Stover. She's been an operations manager and sales manager for over 25 years with a Fortune 500 company. She has vast marketing experience, both in the affiliate marketing arena and the network marketing arena, going back to the mid-'80s. And like I always say on the show, I like to call her the affiliate queen, and I mean that affectionately because she is incredible at selling online. I've seen no one, I know no one personally as good as Kathy is in that area. She's also, right now, currently, the National Marketing and Sales Director for a wonderful bridal shoe company called Bliss Bridal Shoes. So be sure to check them out at your leisure time at blissbridalshoes.com. If you know of anybody who's getting married in the near future, or maybe perhaps you are, go ahead and check that out, or give Kathy a call. You can contact us later about that. She's also designated as a power seller on eBay, and she's also a top-rated seller on eBay. Two separate designations that she recently acquired because she is that good. Without further ado, what I'd like to do is hand it back to you, Kathy. We have actually not just one guest with us tonight, but we have our wonderful good friend with us that joins us off, and I'd like to hand it over to you to bring him on.
Oh, well, you know what? I thought you were going to introduce our good friend tonight. This is absolutely terrible. I'm going to actually be speaking from the hip here because our friend JW has got so many wonderful things going on and has done so many wonderful things that for me to we actually need a piece of paper with it printed to be able to talk about it. You wouldn't happen to have that, would you,
Absolutely.
Brian?
I'll take over.
I do want to say that I can tell you this, that he is an absolute delight. He is a wonderful connector of people.
Yes, he is.
He is a social media enthusiast. There are so many wonderful things. I can tell some kind of things about his past that rock. But anyway, Brian, please read and share some of the
Absolutely.
wonderful things about
Sorry to put you in that
if you will.
position there, Kathy. We were kind of running around crazy here right before the show. No problem. Our good friend, his name is JW, and he has brought in so many wonderful guest speakers for our show. We can't count them on one hand. It's unbelievable, the type of people, the quality of people, the integrity of the people that he brings to our show. We can't thank him enough. But just to give a quick bio about him, JW has 25 years of large and small-scale computer IT administration, project management, network support. He started at NASA at the George C. Marshall Space Flight Center, and working with companies like Gap, Banana Republic, 99 Cent Only, Sports Chalet, Washington Mutual Bank, Medtronic, and many, many others. He's currently the president of Emerald Bay Investments. Go ahead and Google that, look that up. JW has co-founded 2 network marketing companies and the Commercial Real Estate Distressed Assets Association. He also founded that. Just unbelievable credentials and a very, very good friend of ours.
Yes.
I would like to introduce everyone to our very, very good friend, JW Najarian. Hey, JW.
Hey, JW.
Hey, thanks, guys. It's always a pleasure to be with you. You guys have such a great show. I really enjoy it. By the way, don't Google Emerald Bay Investment. It'll come up, or don't go to the site anyway. It's under construction. But you can Google JW Najarian, and you'll find a plethora of sites and all kinds of great stuff and goodies. You were talking, Brian, thank you so much for the wonderful introduction. You were talking about some of the people of integrity and just great people that I've brought to the show. And I brought some really cool people to the show, but tonight I really believe that I brought somebody of total integrity and total fun and total knowledge to the show. I've known Mary Agnes just a very short time, and we feel like kind of like soul sisters, soul brothers. We've just got along so well. We get on the phone. We were on the phone for hours, kind of thing. Anyway, she is extremely knowledgeable. I listen to all this stuff on the web that she's got, and she is just fantastic. Let me read you her bio really quick. I won't make it too long, but she's got such an incredible bio, and she's done so much that I really want to go through it. She's designed over 40 successful social media campaigns for a variety of clients, including Christine Comerford, Jack Canfield, OnePinky.com, ServingSuccess.com, AfricaAs1, Fraternity.com, SmartSoul, and many others. She's also well known for writing and developing sophisticated PowerPoint marketing presentations. She maintains expert author status with eZine articles and is the staff writer for Go-To Girls, HP Web Solutions, and several other companies. She's been published in numerous print periodicals, New York Quarterly, Literary Magazine. She has ghostwritten 2 full-length manuscripts and currently editor-at-large for one online magazine for women. And if you go to her website, now this is really a trip. You've got to go to her website because it's one of the coolest you'll ever see. She's done just a really cool job on it. And anyway, I've known her for a while, and I've really enjoyed knowing her, and I'm so excited to introduce her on the show today, Mary Agnes Antonopoulos.
Hi, Mary.
Hi, Mary Agnes.
Mary Agnes, I apologize. How are you doing tonight?
Well, hi, I'm here.
We can hear you. Yes, we can.
Oh, great. Well, thanks for the nice introduction. JW is right. He's like a brother.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are so happy to have you on with us
I'm
tonight,
excited.
Mary
There's a lot of
Agnes.
people here, isn't there?
Yes, there's a lot of people here, and I'll tell you what, we just, we had a lot of fun getting you hooked up and getting you on here, didn't we? In fact, you and I met before coffee yesterday morning. Yes, we got to see each other at our best.
Barely recognizable.
You look absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous. Mary Agnes, listen, we are so excited to have you on tonight and to talk about all of the things that you are so good at and some of the things that you're teaching. And I know that one of the things that you've done is worked a lot with social media, and you've worked on that for some time. So, you know, a lot of people out there, social media can be a little bit overwhelming. So what can you share with us about that?
Well, I think social media feels like going to visit Europe. If you've ever done one of those 13 countries in 12 days tours, you've got to learn 13 countries, their transportation, their laws, their language, and it can be totally baffling. So what I always tell people is if you're able to hire a guide, so let's teach them the language and especially how to get around, because I mean each social network is like its own.
I think we're losing her audio.
I believe so. We lost her video as well. The technical issues continue. And she's frozen. I think we lost her. We are going to try to do what we can to get her back. Oh, she's back.
So that's kind of for me. I'm waiting for you.
We lost you for a second there, Mary Agnes. Could you repeat?
Ah, there you are.
Can you hear us?
So this thing about Europe and
yes, we
feeling
can.
lost. I can hear you now.
Yes, we can hear you. Can you repeat what you were just saying? Because your audio cut out on us.
About social media. The thing that I like about social media is it's an opportunity for almost anybody because it's free. I mean, large portions of this are free. So if you can learn how to get around, you can really get your name, your business, your expertise, your affiliates. I mean, it's just a huge opportunity. And, you know, when I say that to people sometimes, but it's really a good opportunity if someone's switching jobs or they're changing careers or reputation for what they do.
Well, is there any one in particular, as far as social media goes, that you would say would be the first one that people need to get involved with?
I think the one that people overlook as a means of social media is YouTube, and that's the one that I wanted to feature first tonight.
Oh, okay, great. So,
I think to really get some total viral coverage of what you do.
well, you know, I think that some people worry about YouTube because, you know, they think that there's a lot of prank videos out there and jokes and that kind of thing. So how can they utilize it and have it as a serious marketing tool?
You know, you're right about that. YouTube can be like a really fun distraction to people. And that's important. That's an important part of life, to have those fun distractions. But because of that, because there's so much of that on YouTube, we miss the capability for it to train and to teach. So the great example of that is my kid is playing violin. And we went on YouTube to see how does she hold a bow when she plays the violin. So it's really been a great opportunity for little things like that. And I think for business owners and people who teach anything, it's a huge opportunity. So the very first thing that I would say is to put up a profile on YouTube and to be really careful that you've filled it out completely. Because it's like all profiles, it's got little hidden pockets. And those hidden pockets are where you put your keywords, your tags, your bio, your company, your links back. You really want to be as complete as you can. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. So let's assume that someone's never used a YouTube account. What do they do to create a great video about their company or about the product that they have?
Okay, y'all are going to see me refer to my notes because I don't want to forget any piece. This is important.
No
my
problem.
own formula for
No
this.
problem.
I've kind of fallen in love with the tip of the day. And the tip of the day should be really fast and really easy because we want people to tune in every single day. I want them to put on their calendar to tune in to your tip of the day in the morning. So here it is. The first thing is script your videos. Unless you're like used to this and really, like Gary Vaynerchuk may not have to script his videos. But me, Mary Agnes, I still script my videos. So script it out, read it aloud to yourself. Make sure you can pronounce all your own words. And make sure that all of your websites are easily discerned to the viewer and listener. If your websites are tricky, like we might be afraid people couldn't spell Internet Citadel, you're holding the camera on you, have it written down internetcitadel.com and hold it up on a whiteboard. Okay, so there's my tip number one. Tip number two, keep it brief. People are really brief, and this is what I want you guys to do. I'm going to give Kathy and Brian this a worksheet to send out with the recording, or a link to a worksheet, but I'm going to read it to you now, so take note. Your mission statement in 1 or 2 sentences, and then your 2-minute script. End with your vitals again. If you go past 2.5 minutes, do it again. They're not listening after 3 minutes. So you want to do all that, script it out, and then get it into that little pocket where people are going to listen to it. So I'll give you an example. You ready?
Yes.
Hey, this is Mary Agnes Antonopoulos. I'm from RockawayWriter.com. And my phone number is 845-238-0018, and you can find my website at www.rockawayWriter.com. My tip of the day is to tune in to Internet Citadel every single week and watch the classes that oh my God. Okay, that Kathy and Brian are putting on, because they're doing great work. So that's my tip of the day from Mary Agnes, and then you end with all of your vital information again. So that's
a great
everything
tip.
you should do in a nutshell. Your tip of the day should be, you could be able to boil, yeah, it's a good tip, and you boil it down to, 2 or 3 strategic points and stop. So that's my favorite YouTube marketing adventure. And then you can take it and push it out all over the internet from there.
That's awesome.
That's
Is there
really
any?
great.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask Mary Agnes, one of the things that I keep hearing is that
pitfalls to
when
YouTube. Well, the one thing about YouTube is, I'm sorry, I didn't realize JW was talking. Go ahead, JW.
That's okay.
Sorry. What I was asking was, I keep hearing that video, it gets search engine optimized over audio, over blogs, and over the written word. What is your take on that?
Well, the one thing that I learned through trial and error was that if you don't have your name in the title of your video, people can't search for your name and find it. I don't know if it's a glitch in YouTube or it's how it optimizes the videos, but you want to make sure that in every video you put up, you have your name and your company's name. It makes your titles grossly long, but who cares? I mean, really, people are either going to find you by your name, your title, searching, or they're going to go to your channel, or your videos are going to be pushed out through different venues. So I would just make sure that if I'm going for SEO optimization, I would definitely have my criteria in my titles.
Thanks. We have a little delay.
Yeah.
It gets tough.
For those listening right now, we have quite a delay between our asking questions. Mary Agnes is not getting those. It's like she's on the other side of the globe, and we're in the old days of satellite feeds, and that's okay.
Well,
we'll
as a matter of fact, we're in California and she's in New York, so she is kind of like on the other side of the globe.
Almost. So we'll get through this. Just bear with us. And the beautiful thing about this is we're going to have this in written form sometime down the road as well. So, and if it's too horrible, we're just going to invite Mary Agnes back to the show down the road, and we'll get her right. But
one thing I want to ask is, what are the pitfalls of using YouTube?
Well, I think the biggest pitfall is that it's really hard to take something down. Once a video is up, you can just assume it lives forever. So a lot of kids at spring break who are no longer kids have discovered that this can follow them through their this can definitely be a fingerprint on your youth that you don't want in your adulthood. So I just, the big thing for me around YouTube is just be careful, make it professional, make it appropriate, have fun, be charming, teach what you have, and
in school they used to say it's going to go on your permanent record. I'm guessing that the internet is now our real permanent record.
Well, the other thing that I think that about video that I think a lot of people are concerned about is, how I look, or I'm not going to sound professional enough, or, whatever. They come up with all of these excuses, and it's okay to put yourself and be who you are, and
yes,
let the camera be on you, and just share, because the bottom line is whatever you have to share, people want to hear. So it doesn't make any difference how we look. It's that we're sharing valuable information with people. So I think that my tip is, don't worry about how you look or whether or not you're perfect. Just put the camera on and be yourself. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, we're experiencing some serious delays here in getting audio over to her.
Yeah, she's asking if we can type as we go. If I type as we go, Mary Agnes, we'd be here till tomorrow morning.
Oh, she can't hear us.
Oh, she can't hear.
Ah.
Okay.
And we're not able to hear her anymore either. Can you say something for us, Mary Agnes, so we can see if we can hear you?
Okie dokie.
There we go.
We
Now
heard
we're
that.
back.
Cool. So, don't you hate it when stuff like this happens? It kind of throws you out of whack a little bit. But moving forward, what comes next with YouTube? How do we keep a presence on YouTube, and how do we keep a good following with YouTube?
I would say that building a great heart as it sounds. We've got this idea that we need total 5,000 followers to our channel, and that's really not the truth. The first thing is post regularly. I would do 2-minute videos every day if you really have the time. And here's a little trick to that. You don't have to do them every single day. You can post those videos every day, but you can tape them in one afternoon. So, let's say you're going to script all your videos out and you get them all ready, you rehearse them, you feel great about it. Then go sit down on a Sunday afternoon and tape one after another. So you've got this series of YouTube videos out there, but you post them, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But there's a little trick to it. If I look like this every time I do my video, everybody knows I did them all in one series. So, change your background, change your t-shirt, change your hair, do something so you look different. For the ladies, it's pretty easy. Put your hair in pigtails, change your shirt, whatever. For the guys, it's a little trickier because you, by nature, pretty much look the same. So, baseball cap, shave your beard, off your tie, just a series of things. Move your venue is the best thing, really, to shoot 5 of them in your house, 2 of them outside on the front yard, 1 of them sitting on the hood of your car. These don't have to be professional. These are tip of the day. They're really just to bring your audience into your world. Then the next thing that I would say is share, share, share. You've got your videos up on YouTube. People are not going to find you. It's like building a beautiful house in the woods that nobody ever sees. You have to direct them where to go. That's how I feel about websites too, by the way. So, you've got your videos up on YouTube. You want to push them out onto Facebook, obviously. You want to put them on your blog. YouTube is so easy. It'll write the code for you. So for those of us who are not coding experts, JW, JW is the best at everything. But if you're a non-coding expert like me, you can take the code right off the YouTube page, cut and paste it into the back of your blog, and that'll put the video onto your blog. It's pretty great.
Oh, thanks for the plug. What I love about Mary Agnes is, listen to what she says.
You can even put it into your newsletter.
Oops,
This is
sorry.
the person who taught me to do this. No, it's good. I'm good. Go ahead. Go.
Oh, I'm just going to say that Mary Agnes, if you're writing down what she's saying, or if you're listening to her while she's, what she's saying, you're going to be way ahead. Because she doesn't do this for herself and her friends, and she's not a mom out there trying to, running a little website. She's working for people like Jack Canfield and Christine Comerford, author of Rules for Renegades. We're talking about monster marketers. And she is the one that takes care of their Facebook accounts and a lot of their marketing. And I know I talk to her all the time because I handle some Twitter stuff for her. And anyway, the thing is she really, really knows what she's talking about, and she's in the field every day. This is not somebody who's read a couple books. She's written the books. So go on, Mary Agnes. I didn't want to cut in, but you are the real deal, and I wanted everybody to know that.
Well, that's really nice of you to say. And I'm JW's biggest fan. I'm blushing here. I don't know if it shows on the camera. Okay. You know you're in trouble when your ears are burning, JW. Okay. So the other thing about YouTube that's really cool is for SEO purposes, you can tag your individual videos. So don't forget to do that. Very, very important. So at the bottom of your videos, you've got a short amount of space. It's not a lot, but you definitely want to tag your name. You want to tag your company, and then you want to tag your biggest keywords. There's not a lot of space, but you know, whatever your key phrases are, it's really important to tag those. And Google, for some reason, finds YouTube to be a very attractive, I don't know, your search. So if people search my name, my videos come up really, really high on that Google rating. So don't forget that.
Well, you know what, one thing that I'd like to talk about is Blog Talk Radio. You know, I had, of course, seen that around the internet, and I had looked at it in the past, but not seriously until you and I had a conversation the other day. So we hear so much about maximizing blogs and SEO, and that's all fine and dandy, but what about Blog Talk Radio, and how do you work it? I actually went in and kind of messed around with it. Brian and I now have a Blog Talk Radio account, but I want you, the Blog Talk Radio queen, to tell us all about it and how that baby works.
There's so much to say about this, and partly because people don't know enough about it, but I love Blog Talk Radio. I love it. I love it because it's free. You know, many of these social networks are free, so it's a great opportunity for startup entrepreneurs, or you know, people starting their own business, or even underfunded. Which Blog Talk Radio is a free platform, and I've abandoned all of my teleseminar recording lines, conference lines, and I do everything on Blog. It's just fabulous. So let me give you a few tips. Similar to everything else we talk about, I'm just going to say pimp your profile. You want a profile that's like massively pimped. You want to fill every little piece you can. And once you get your profile up there, you want to go in and edit it and look around, because like YouTube, it's got these hidden pockets where you can put extra things. Like, for instance, what categories you or your company or your shows fall into. I didn't find that pocket until I was on probably 6 months of doing shows. So I missed a lot of opportunities where people go in and search shows and say social media, and my shows didn't come up in the search because I didn't know that pocket of identity in my profile existed. So you want to get a complete profile up, and you know, when you're doing these profiles, it's good to have, you know, a really short bio available, and even your elevator appropriate than your bio. So if you all don't have a 60-second elevator pitch, you probably want to.
You there? Mary Agnes, I have a question.
So the profile is the most important thing, and then let's see if I missed anything in my note. I think I hit it. I think that's what I want to tell you guys just to start out with. Hey,
I have a question.
Oh, sorry.
You know, it's really nice. I get to call you when I have a question about Facebook or Blog Talk Radio, and which is really appreciated. But are there some places that people can go who are listening who maybe don't know Blog Talk Radio that well, and can get some additional information so they can start out? Because I know it's very confusing to me.
Good question.
It is confusing, but Blog Talk Radio actually has the best tutorials I've ever seen on any social network. So if you go in there and you hit their help button, you'll come into a page full of tutorials, video tutorials, audio tutorials, and even some written documentation. And they have tutorials on how to monetize Blog Talk Radio, how to build an audience. I mean, a lot of things I would cover here, and then a world of things I wouldn't even know how to begin to cover. So that's I would say that they are their own best source for training.
Some of the shows that I've seen are very long. What do you suggest in length of shows? You said people don't listen after 2 or 3 minutes. Should we do 2 or 3 minute shows, or can they be a little longer on Blog Talk?
Video and audio are different for the user. So your audience on video, you'll lose them faster than audio. Audio, people will podcast and download. So you want to keep your show, I suggest keeping your shows the length of a good workout, which is like 55 minutes, right? 55. So 55 minutes is about the length of a show. Sometimes when you do interviews and Q&A, they go longer. But if you're teaching on your show like I do a series of shows on social media. I did those shows. I called them 2020. I did 20 minutes on and 20 minutes off. And those 20-minute shows got hundreds of people to listen because people have 20 minutes. Hour-long shows, not so much.
Well, so how do you know what to say?
How do we know what to say?
How do you know what?
Do you do a lot of interviews, Mary Agnes?
Okay. I do a lot of interviews for clients. I don't host a show where I interview other people. But for clients, I handle the Q&A portion for them a lot. So if you go to Blog Talk Radio/Job Mentor, there's an entire series of shows with me interviewing Catherine Palmieri, who's probably the best job coach in New York. And not to plug Catherine, but she is. So there's an entire series of Q&A shows so that's one. I've got a series of shows that we did with just a world of them. So the Q&A piece, I try to stay on the Q side.
So what would you say are the assets
Try and run
of having a
behind the
blog
scenes
talk?
usually.
Oh, sorry. So what would you say are the assets to being involved in having a blog talk radio show?
Well, like YouTube, it's easy to push it out. So once your Blog Talk Radio show is there, first of all, like YouTube, it creates a library. So you've got a library of shows that's out there forever. Then you've got the ability, with a click of a button, to push it out onto Facebook, onto your blog, the same way. You copy the code from Blog Talk Radio directly into the back of your blog where it says HTML code. For those of us who are not code friendly, you just cut and paste it in there, and on your blog you get a visual of a little radio, and when someone clicks on it, they'll hear your show. Easy to pass around, easy to get some viral coverage through friends and fans, and great for SEO. Remember to put your name, your company. It's important to be thorough with that, otherwise they're...
Hey, Brian, do you have Kathy's information on the page so that people can get to her Blog Talk Radio and listen to her archives and some of her stuff?
Yeah.
I get her emails, and they're just her lessons are just terrific.
Yeah, if you mean Mary Agnes,
Yes, we do.
we got that.
Yes.
Everyone watching the show, click to our left, upper left, and if you click what I say on Mary Agnes's nose, that will take you right to her blog. Also, be sure to click on the link beneath us. The link beneath that says Sexy Savvy Social Media, that will take you directly to another blog of hers where you'll see that she has an entire class that she offers for the guests on our show, so be sure to check that out as well. But thanks for bringing that up, JW. We can definitely send people to learn more about Mary Agnes after this show is over. They'll get a lot of great information. They can dig deep. Like she said herself, Google her. You'll find her all over the internet. We're dealing with somebody of great knowledge here, so be sure to tap into that knowledge in any way that you possibly can. So thanks for bringing that up, JW.
You're welcome.
So for anybody starting out new that wants to work with Blog Talk Radio, do you have to have a blog in order to do it?
We've got her in the freeze frame again.
Oh, darn.
There we go.
Oh, she can't hear. Oh, you're back?
Well, we apologize for the technical difficulty that we're experiencing tonight. Did you hear what I said, Mary Agnes?
Kathy, would you say it again?
Yes, I said, if you're going to sign up for Blog Talk Radio, is it imperative that you have a blog in order to do so?
Well, here's the cool. If you do have a blog, then Blog Talk Radio is an excellent way to repurpose your content for like 3 or 4 or 5 years. You know, chances are something you wrote 4 years ago isn't going to be read. Although people may Google it and find you way at the bottom of a list of things on, you know, certain topics, but you've worked hard to create your blog. So go to your old blogs, set up a Blog Talk Radio show. Don't let anybody else come in live. Just keep it on yourself. And because no one can see you, it's radio, simply just sit there on the phone and read in your blog. And then you tag it, and, you know, people will podcast and listen to them while they work out, while they're, you know, making dinner. It's a pretty cool way to multi-purpose your content. So you don't have to have a blog, but if you do have a blog, this is a great, great way to make it worthful to you.
Mary Agnes,
Continue
many people have blogs, and people want to get on Blog Talk Radio. They want to brand themselves and their products and the things that they're doing. Where's a good place to find content? Many of us go, okay, I'm ready to talk into the microphone, or I'm ready to do a video. What the heck am I going to talk about?
Wow, that's a tricky one, isn't it? You know, I've got a writer's tip here for you, and this isn't in what we planned to talk about, so I hope I get it right. But as a writer, sometimes, so if you're not sure what you want to talk about, grab a pen and paper and do 2 things. 1, set a timer for 2 minutes and just literally brainstorm on what you could talk about in your radio show. And don't edit yourself as you're going. Just make a list for 2 minutes. Then choose the things that obviously make sense and develop those. The other tool is this. Sit down, grab your piece of paper, number 1 to 10 or 1 to 15, and write down the subjects that you could talk about. After you make 10 or 15, circle 4 that feel like they would be really worthful to your viewers or your listeners. You know, this isn't really about what you're comfortable talking here. And then technique for blogging. You know, develop a few sentences around those. Choose 1 and make it your highlighted topic. Write 10 more sentences. And in those 20 sentences, you probably got the good seeds of a good garden, a good blog talk radio show.
Excellent.
Does that make sense?
Thank you. Yes, thank you for that.
Yeah.
That was one of those unexpected nuggets that you threw our way because you were not planning on talking about that. Great question, JW, and thanks, Mary Agnes, for sharing that with us.
She's full of great answers. You kidding?
Yes, she.
Sure.
What are some of the other What are some of the other assets to using Blog Talk Radio? What else can you say about Blog Talk Radio that our listeners could take advantage of?
Well, I love Blog Talk. I love Blog Talk Radio because you can gain really big audiences by kind of JVing. I mean, every time you do a Q&A show on your show, the person you've invited in is also going to publicize it. So, Kathy and Brian have this show, I put up a Facebook event, I sent it to my people. If I were to interview Kathy or Brian, you know, I would hope that as my guests, they would also promote the Blog Talk Radio show. So it becomes a really, really great way to build your audience. Even though Blog Talk Radio is free, I want who's ever using it to set up a registration page anyway. So you have people register, and this way you capture them. You do a little email capture. And then you, at the end, right before your show, send everybody the link to get in, whether they registered or not. Because live participation rocks. You want to. So the thing is that Blog Talk Radio lives live like YouTube, so you can actually send that show out periodically. You can go onto Twitter 6 months later, and you can definitely hold on 1 second. Sorry, I got a low battery signal. That would be a nightmare. You can actually go onto Twitter 6 months later, and you can tell people to. I used to be rolling all over here while I fix it. You can go onto Twitter 6 months later and say, "Hey, listen to my interview with J.W. I know, right? With J.W. Najarian. He's like the Twitter king. He's a NASA scientist." You know, we can say all these great things, and we can put the link to a show that was done a year ago.
Yeah.
So it's a really good opportunity for people.
Excellent tip. Excellent.
Very good. You also said, Mary Agnes, that you stopped doing teleseminars.
Yeah.
That you're now using Blog Talk. How does that work?
Oh, wow. Well, I did a cool thing. When I first started, probably about 1.5 years ago, I started teaching it through Blog Talk Radio, and I sold the classes. So you could listen for free. I mean, they were out there, but there was a plus to taking them in a paid way. So I sent documentation to those who registered and paid to be in the class, and I gave mentoring hours if someone paid. So there was a free component, anybody could listen, but I put extras, especially the mentoring, on anyone who paid to participate in the class. So there are little tricks you can do to use a free platform in a paid way.
Very interesting.
And then later, after the shows were up and they were finished, I went into Blog Talk Radio and I edited those shows to be private so nobody could find them anymore. They're there, but they're in hidden links.
And you still do offer classes, correct?
Yeah, those classes I put into a series because I call it 12-step social media success. Sorry, shout out to all the 12-steppers out there. But anybody who takes those classes, they get this free bonus. Anybody who signs up for those classes comes free to any class I do during the next 12 months.
Nice.
So, you put a little, I don't know, dessert out there for anybody who buys the meal. You keep your audience interested.
Are those the same classes or the same content that you mentioned on Sexy Savvy Social Media on that site?
Yeah,
okay.
That's the course we put up on Sexy Savvy Social
Yeah.
Sexy Savvy Social
Say
Media.
that fast 5 times.
Blogspot. I know, right? This mentor of mine, Leela Francis, came up with that, and I mean, Leela's an amazing mentor, so I stole it right from her. So, sexysavvysocialmedia.blogspot.com. That's it.
Yeah, just
and
for
we can
everyone.
also get to that. Go ahead.
All right, for everyone viewing, just click on that banner that says those words. So I'm not going to say it again because this is a tongue twister, but just click on that blue banner with all those S's and that one M, and you can get directly to her site where it does give you a description of the content of all of her recorded audios, along with, I believe you're offering a couple hours of one-on-one as well in that class.
Yeah, what I found teaching this is that implementation, is really the problem. You can hand somebody a book on how to play baseball, and they'll read the book and they'll go out and try and do it, but pretty much it can be really overwhelming to people. So I find if I give an hour or two of coaching with the class, people will actually do the class. They will just buy the class and leave it sitting in a back pocket feeling crappy that they didn't do it. They'll call when they have a question, and I'll walk them through implementation, and that actually moves people from one place to another, and that's a really good feeling. I mean, I've literally, I've had a few people change their lives. They've left jobs and gone into their own career because they built their business like this.
And that's got to feel wonderful to help people like that. I can only imagine. I mean, Kathy and I have such a wonderful time with this show because we feel it does help people. We've got a lot of great content. Yours is
Absolutely.
right up there. This is excellent,
got-
excellent stuff, and we.
You've got great content. You really do.
Well, yeah, we're going through great content as we speak right now. It's excellent, excellent
Yes, we
stuff.
are.
But
well, you know, go ahead.
no, go right ahead, Kathy.
I was just going to say, you know, one of the last of the three networks that she planned on featuring tonight was meeting groups and
Meetup group.
meetup groups. And you know, we actually did not talk about this before. We talked about YouTube and Blog Talk Radio. So this is really fascinating to me. So why should someone use meetup groups, and is it considered a social media avenue, or you know, what's it all about?
Meetup groups is like a whole different world, and some people have played with it a little bit, but there are some huge opportunities here. Okay, so we all do this virtual social networking, social media, and I have a client who's Stacy Weevil, and Stacy is like, I am so sick of online networking. Meetup Groups does both. It's an online network and it's a live social network, live in-person opportunity. So here's a couple of things. It's meetup.com. You fill out a rockin' profile. I mean, profiles on this just kick butt. And then you can host your own, or you can just join other people's. You don't even have to, go in there and host one. But here's what you do. You go in, you fill out their questionnaire, and you want to be honest and specific. So when it talks about your interests, you want to write what your interests are, and don't write stuff just to make yourself look good, like skiing. Oh, I don't ski. So, right. So if I join skiing groups and go skiing, I'm just going to look like an idiot. But I joined writers groups, and I met peers, which has been amazing. And then, right, that was really cool. But then I realized, hey, my peers are lovely, but I'm not going to get hired and paid from my peers.
Right.
So I go on and I join groups where my best clients will be. And then I go to those events. And then I soft network. I soft market myself. So if I go to Entrepreneurial Excellence in the Hudson Valley, which is where I live, I go in there, I hand out business cards, I shoot the breeze, I get to know the entrepreneurs in the Hudson Valley, and then they like me so much, I go and I speak in front of their room. So that's kind of how these things develop. It's been very, very, very cool.
Interesting. So
Yeah.
that's at
That's a new one.
meetup.com.
I think it's meetup.com. And it's kind of sweeping the nation. Christine Comerford has a meetup group now where, these like huge 7-figure entrepreneurs meet and talk to her. And I have a meetup. I run a meetup group where it's called Writers at the Monroe Diner.
Oh, I saw that.
It's a lot of... It's really good. So here's what happens too. When I set up that group and I send it out, the notification went to 5,000 people in Little Monroe, New York, who
Wow.
on their profile, they had written that they were interested in writing. So that's why those keywords in the questionnaire become really important.
So a
So-
meetup group sounds a lot like what we've been hearing, Kathy and I, over the past several months. It sounds a lot like what others call a mastermind group. Would you coin it somewhat similar?
I'm in a mastermind group, so I would actually say they're dissimilar, but
Okay.
could be done. Okay, so they're dissimilar because a mastermind group is usually a very specific handful of people. You don't want it too big, right?
Right.
So in my mastermind group, like there's Libby Gill, there's Paul Keach, the other lady, I forget her name. I'm really sorry if she's listening. But there's 4 of us, and the mastermind stays really focused on goals and initiatives to help one another. Your mastermind should be maximum, like 5 people. Once you put it out on Meetup, it's pretty much open to the whole world.
I see.
So it might, Meetup might be a good opportunity to find a mastermind group, but I would recommend people actually find those through connections and recommendations.
So when you're
If someone's looking for mastermind opportunities, I would go to Christine meetup.com and look at, I would search on her blog for Mastermind, because she's got a great blog she wrote on it. And Jack Canfield also. Go to Canfield's, I don't know which page, but if you search around, he's got the best mastermind tips I ever heard, and that's how I built mine.
Jack Canfield. So in a meetup group, you want to be very, very careful with your, say, intellectual properties and exactly what kind of secrets you give out about what you want to be very careful when you're talking to a meetup group. Does that sound right?
It does. But in anything you do with people you don't know, you want to be careful about your IP. I mean, even through this, I wouldn't put out all my stuff with you guys. It's a public forum.
Right.
So you could, if you were going to run a meetup with, other social, if I was going to run a meetup with other social media experts like you guys, I could have everybody sign non-disclosure agreements, and that would be respectful.
Right.
Even my writers group in Monroe, one of them finished his book, and we all signed that we would not reveal or disclose anything in his book.
Excellent.
Very, very good. So let me ask you this. Now, with the meetup group, it's just everybody from every part of the country or world or whatever, correct? So you don't physically ever meet up like a seminar?
It's both, actually. People can join your meetup from all over the world, and you can have some online events. Like tonight, this event I put out as an event on my meetup in case my people wanted to come. But we actually do meet in person, and meetup.com asks you to commit to hold, I think it's one live event per month. So my meetup is a writers group, but writers at the Monroe Diner. But there are actually people who've become like fans of my work, which is so weird. I know, right?
I don't know why.
I feel like Charlie Brown with the. I feel like Charlie Brown with the Peanuts. Like, I don't know why anybody would follow me. Any minute now they're going to realize I'm Charlie Brown. But seriously, I've got people in my meetup from Australia. I've got a couple from California, and they're very welcome to come hang out in Monroe and go to our live events.
I bet Monroe is a cool town.
Monroe
is
turning into quite a happening place.
Mary Agnes, let me ask you a question. You run social marketing blitz or all the different components of some pretty heavy marketers' campaigns. What do you think of programs like Ping FM for throwing all that stuff together? Or do you work on every Facebook separately and Meetup separately and Twitter separately and everything separately? How do you guys take care of all that?
I would automate everything I could. Otherwise, you go crazy. And at any given time, I run 10 campaigns for different clients. So it's important to me that the things be as automated as possible. Some things can't be automated, of course,
right.
But Twitter feeds through to everything. Whoever wrote Twitter just kicks dupa. You can attach that to your LinkedIn, your Facebook, your other Twitter accounts. Twitter just feeds through everywhere, so that's beautiful and easy to automate. And you can automate your Twitter through, there's several programs that'll automate your Twitter feeds, meaning you can set them up on Sunday for the whole week. I happen to use socialoomph.com, which is social, SOCIALOOMPH. And he's a great guy, but JW, you probably have more tips on things like Ping FM than I do. You're the guy I go to for things like that.
Well, thank you. I just wanted to know if you used anything like that to tie all these things together.
Yeah, very important. Otherwise, all you do is social media, and you're not actually doing any work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It can literally consume your day just using one of them, let alone several outlets. Like there's Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, the three bigs. Social Oomp's a great tool to use. We use that as well. Kathy and I do. That was an excellent question. Once again, JW. And another thing we've also run into are there's a possibility once you start monetizing your efforts, and Mary Agnes, you just gave us some absolute nuggets when you talked about that. I hope everyone caught those. But once you start monetizing your, say, Blog Talk Radio campaigns or your blogging, your videos, you can then use some of that money, turn it around, and hire a virtual or private assistant online for a very, very inexpensive amount of money, and have
Excellent,
them manage a lot of your, manual labor intensive things, closely manage them and tell them what you want them to send out. But it's easy to write a post. You just write one post, send it to your virtual assistant. They do the rest. They take it to all the different avenues on your behalf. So I was just going to throw that one extra time saver in there, if I could.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
and
awesome.
And, everybody can run a campaign the way I do. It's not brain surgery. You take the blog from your principal, from your client, and if you're the client, tell your VA this is what you want them to do. Take your blog, break it into discernible, standalone statements under 140 characters, and they can then tweak those statements. They can also take your blog, and so this is stuff that I don't talk about too often, but all the trade secrets. But they can take your blog and they can take the main subject paragraph and they can put it onto LinkedIn as discussions.
Right.
Anybody who responds back to that really falls into two categories: peers who want to comment, or your best client who finds your subject interesting. So that's a really good way to market.
You rock, Mary Agnes. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
You are sharing some stuff you don't usually share.
Yeah, well, that's your IP. That's why people hire me. But it's really important to share this so that people can get their own businesses moving.
Well, that comes from the giving mentality, and we've discussed that several times in the past as well. And you fit that mold to a T, and we greatly appreciate you offering such incredible value. This is value that we had not expected, to be quite honest, and it comes greatly appreciated. JW, the master connector. My goodness, people connect with JW Nigerian. This man will light up your world. I'll tell you that. And
you just call somebody and they're super nice, and so you say, call Brian and Kathy. You got to be on the show. You're smart. You're nice. Get on the show.
Love it.
And you're awesome too, buddy.
By the way, talking about Twitter, I want to give a little plug to Brian, because nobody ever plugs Brian, except Kathy every once in a while.
Should we give one really, really great tip?
No, actually, I do plug him every week. I just didn't get it plugged in this week, but you do the honors, please, sir.
Yeah, I want to hear Mary Agnes's tip. I'm going to plug Brian really quick. We talk about me being a Twitter king. He's actually better at it than I am, and he is my teacher. So everybody, if you look down below, if you see tweet performance down there, that is all of Brian's knowledge in a nutshell, and you should check that out.
Thanks so much.
And now, Mary Agnes, what was your super tip? Small tip.
So my super tip. So my super tip is, if you're not on LinkedIn, that's probably where your fully funded clients are, so you should be. Once you get into LinkedIn, if you go to edit my profile, you can load a short PowerPoint presentation through SlideShare, and then you can send it out to 100 people a day. So it's an excellent marketing tool. So I want to see all three of you by the end of next week with your arm around. I know JW knows big players and he works with them. So I want JW with his arm around Christine Comerford, and he does great work for us. So he can just talk about the numbers that he's hit on her behalf, and you send all of that stuff out through 10 slides, no longer. And your first and last have all of your contact information, website, phone number especially, and that's my super duper tip for today.
That is super duper. And
I'm going to go do my homework.
I was going to say, she just gave us homework. I hate homework. No, we'll do it. Definitely.
I don't mind doing the homework. I just don't like reading the directions.
We have a lot in
That's the part
common.
I don't like.
And I'll tell you the directions.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. You know what? An hour has passed so quickly, and we started late tonight. And we thank you so much for everybody that hung in with us. It is almost 7:15. But the nice thing about this is it gives us an opportunity to have you back with us, Mary Agnes. And hopefully at a time where we won't have so many delays in our audio. I'm not sure what was going on there tonight. But I just want to tell you from myself, and I'll speak for Brian as well, and he can speak of also, blah, blah, I'm getting all tongue-tied. You have been an absolute delight. It was wonderful sharing the days coming up to the show with you and just learning about some new things that I didn't know about, and thank you so much for that. I just want to thank all of the viewers and the people that you brought to the show to share with us tonight. I want to thank JW as always, the master. I call him the master connector. He's absolutely phenomenal. Just love you dearly. And to my great friend and business partner, Brian, I just absolutely adore you and appreciate everything that you do. I'm going to turn it back over to you guys, and thank you so much for me.
Well, right back to you, Kathy. Like I always say, you are the glue that holds this show together. My goodness, what we were going through earlier today just to start this thing, it couldn't have been done without the support and calm nerves of Kathy Stiller keeping us moving forward as I'm over here frantically trying to get the tech stuff going. The good news is, though, about the last 3/4 of this show, the audio and video came in crystal clear. It righted itself. So we've got an excellent, a lot of great content in this video, or in this show. So it's going to be great stuff to give in the future to those who get access to the recorded video. I want to say to Mary Agnes, Kathy, when she first told me about you, she called me, and I don't know how long she described you, but it went on for a long time, and it was... her voice was absolutely peaked full with excitement. She said, "You're going to love this person. Aww. She is the best." And she just went on and on and on and on. And I just sat there wishing I had been in on that call. I had missed it. But I got to say, now that I've finally seen you and met you, and I apologize that it has been not until now until we got to do that, but I've got to say you not only met, but you exceeded my expectations based on Kathy's description. And I want to thank you so much for taking your time, a lot of time, to get this working. I know there was a lot of setup involved in getting this going, not just today, but in prior days. We've all worked very hard to get this to come to fruition, and I want to tell you that I appreciate that very, very much. And JW, once again, buddy, you're aces. You keep bringing us the rock stars. We love you, man, and we're there to help you and your projects as well. That's the beauty of the JV. So, JW, I'd like to give you a chance to say some parting words, and then we'll turn it over to Mary Agnes for the final. So go ahead, JW.
Yeah, I just want to say I talked to Mary Agnes about doing this show a while back in one of our great talks, which I always enjoy. And I think she was kind of, I don't know about going video. I like my blog talk radio. But I'm so happy that she came because she is so full of information, and it just... there's so many people that really need to hear what she has to say because it's powerful stuff. And if you didn't take notes, you need to go back and watch this video again, as you probably will. But I just so love talking to Mary Agnes at any time of the day or night. So it was just a pleasure to be on here with you, Mary Agnes, and thank you. And Brian, you and Kathy, every week you guys do put together such a great show. I know you go through technical difficulties and all kinds of stuff and trying to book the guests and trying to get everything working. But, in the end, you guys always come up with a great show. You always put another great show in can, and I think now that Mary Agnes is back from the moon, here's just another great show. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, JW.
And Fiona says she loves you even more now that she sees you in person.
Well, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. I was really nervous, very, very, very nervous. I was sure all the tech problems happened because my the secret, my energy was all like, Actually, some days I call JW just because I like him. I just call him to say hi. Are you sick of me yet, JW?
Never.
Yeah, he's a gem, and Mary Agnes, so are you. I look forward to getting to know you better down the road. But as Kathy stated, we are getting to the end of our show. We want to respect everyone's time. We also want to say big thank you to everyone that hung on with us during the live show. We did encounter quite a few technical difficulties that we're not typically used to encountering, but thanks for hanging with us. With that, Kathy, thank you once again for everything. Can't thank everybody enough. We'd be here all night. It's like the Oscars. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But with that, what I like...
Mutual Admiration Society.
All right, with that, I would like...
And I got the Stapler Award for the night.
All right. I thank everyone for coming on the show. We'll see you all again next week. We got another fantastic show online.
Yeah.
Great show. We'll see you next week. Love y'all. Good night, all.
Good night. Bye-bye.